Hey everyone, it's Allie and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be bringing you a Dua Fragrances haul. This is my most recent haul that I've done. I have 10 fragrances here that I've had some time to play with, and I've really gathered my thoughts on what I think about them, and that's what we're going to be going over today. If you are a new subscriber, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Allie, where I talk about fragrances. And if you're a returning subscriber, hello, welcome back. And yeah, we're gonna get started with my first one that I got in my haul. This was one that I really wanted for a while, but it was out of stock for a while too. And anytime it came back in stock, I just slept on it and then I would miss out. But it is 33 Shades of Rosa, and this is their take on the Labo's Rose 31. Now you've got notes of rose, cumin, frankincense, cedarwood. You have amber, guaiac wood, citrus, and labandum. And what I really love about it is that it's very close to the original. I wouldn't say it's identical. What I've noticed from this one, since it is an extrait de parfum, certain notes are a little bit more prominent than the original from what I remember. Predominantly the cumin and the frankincense are a lot more in the forefront of this fragrance than in the original. In the original, I find that the rose and the cumin and the frankincense all are on the same level. They play together really harmoniously and they don't outshine the other. They all just like intermingle really, really nicely. And I find that in this one, that the frankincense and the cumin sort of overshine the rose just a little bit. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half before it becomes closer to what I remember Rose 31 to be like. So this one does pull off a little bit more masculine, I would say, in the opening, but when it dries down, honestly, it smells near identical to the original Rose 31. I really like this one. Honestly, Rose 31 is probably one of my favorite Le Labo fragrances. I think it's just a beautiful, sexy, deeper, nighttime, like spicy rose, and this captures it really, really beautiful. Really, really beautifully. The only difference is pretty much in the opening, but once it dries down, it's practically the same. Definitely worth checking out. Totally unisex in my opinion. Girls out there, this is a great nighttime fragrance. My guys out there, this would be killer on a man. Definitely check this one out if you get a chance. The next one that I hauled was one that I had wanted for a while. I almost bought the bottle and then saw Dua was gonna put this one out, and this is Dark Angelica, and it is their take on Angelique Noir. You've got notes of Angelica, pear, pink pepper, caraway, jasmine, vanilla, and cedarwood in this one. And honestly, this is really beautiful. What I love about this is that you have pear in this, but it's not your typical juicy, fruity, very young pear. This is more like a pear that's not fully ripe yet. It's got a little bit of a sour bite to it, which I really, really do like. I'm a big fan of like green vanillic fragrances. I think the fact that there's such clashing notes really complement well with each other, even though that's kind of weird, and you would think that green fragrances wouldn't really work with vanilla fragrances, or I should say vanillic notes, but I feel like they work really well if they're done right, and I feel like it's done really right in this fragrance. You've got a big dose of Angelica that adds this sort of floral, slightly chiffon-y effect. I know that's really weird, but it's kind of what I get from this, like this sort of, not so much fuzzy, but like a chiffon type of effect, this feeling that I get from it. It's a really refined vanillic pear floral fragrance, and I really do like it. Easily also unisex. It does pull a bit more feminine, but I can see a guy wearing this. When I wore this out, I got compliments up the yin yang. I got told that I smelled like a Christmas morning, which I thought was kind of funny, but it's really beautiful. If you love bright green but yet dense fragrances, definitely check this one out. Highly recommend it. The next one that I hauled was one that I had wanted from the Tom Ford line for quite a while, ever since I saw, can't remember who talked about it, but I had wanted this one in particular. It's Shenzhen, I can never pronounce it, Shenzhen Floral, and this is their take on Tom Ford's Shanghai Lily. Now this one has so many notes it's not even funny. You've got cloves, spicy notes, floral notes, black pepper, vanilla. You've got pink pepper, tuberose, benzoin, olivandum. You've got cashmere wood, jasmine, lily, guaiac wood, bitter orange, rose, castoreum, and vetiver. There's literally a lot going on in this fragrance. And honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect. I had never tried that fragrance out before. I don't know if it's been discontinued or not, but it is so hard to find. And what I get predominantly from this, especially in the opening, is a huge burst of spice. This is a spicy, peppery fragrance. I get the cloves a lot in the opening. The spicy pepperiness comes through as well. And then it starts to settle down and you start to smell the floral components from this fragrance. I can't particularly pick out one certain floral. I do pick up on the tuberose and a little bit on the lily. Not so much with the jasmine. I feel like the jasmine only aids in the fact that it's amping up the lily, if that makes sense. The rose is there, but it sort of gets lost with all these floral notes that are also thrown in this. I predominantly get a very peppery, spicy floral. It honestly wasn't what I expected, but it is really nice. To me, this has a sort of boho chic sort of vibe. So if that's the sort of aesthetic that you're going for, I can honestly see you really rocking this fragrance easily. It also gives me a sort of like hippie fun vibe, if that makes sense. It's spicy, it's peppery. It's really, really interesting, honestly. This one is so hard to describe aside from a very peppery, clove-like floral fragrance. It's not what I expected, like I had said. I mean, I had read the notes, so I should have known it was going to go down this sort of spicy, peppery route. But I was honestly surprised on how much of the pepper and the spice and the clove came through. Really, really beautiful. One I sort of have to get to know a little bit more. Not sure how I feel about this one completely, but it's definitely nice. Not sure if it's exactly me or my vibe, but I'm going to keep playing with it and see what I think and maybe if my thoughts change on it later. The next one that I got was one that I had been super excited to get. I had been wanting this one for a while, and anytime I went to go order it, it was always out of stock, so I couldn't really get it. And this one is Empreetis Elixir. I'm probably butchering that, but it's Poseidon's wife's name. It's their take on Aventus for her, which is one that I really did enjoy. The first time I had sprayed Aventus for her, I remember getting it in a box set, and it had 3 different fragrances. It had Love and White, Spring Flower, and it had Aventus for her. I remember not really caring for it. I thought it was really kind of odd smelling in the beginning, but the more I've gotten to know the fragrance, the more I've grown to love it, especially the men's version. I'm a huge fan of Aventus. Probably not a surprise. I've talked about that quite a bit, that I think it's kind of an overdone fragrance and an overdone DNA, but like something about Aventus is just special and I really do enjoy it, especially on a man. But this one is their take on Aventus for her, and I have to say I really do love this one. It is a more feminine version of Aventus, and this is so addictive, you guys. Like, I love this fragrance so much. It has all the elements and components of Aventus that I love in the men's fragrance, still in the women's fragrance, but it's a bit more brighter. It's a bit more playful. It's a bit more fruity. I really like it, but it still maintains those earthy, woody, aromatic components that the men's version is known for. You've got green apple in this, pink berries, patchouli, bergamot, styrax, musk, sandalwood. You've got Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, peach, cassis. You've got lilac, ylang ylang, and amber. And my God, you guys, this is so gorgeous. Like, oh, the opening is just so bright. You get that apple in the opening and those pink berries, and they're just so bright and crisp and just so beautiful. The aromatic quality comes through as well in the opening. And as it settles down, you start getting a little bit more of this earthiness that comes through as well. Just beautiful, you guys. If you are a fan of Aventus and, you know, you wanted something a bit more feminine, check out this one. So good. If you want a matching scent with your significant other and he wears Aventus, get yourself this one and match with him. Like, power couple goals right here. Honestly, I really like it. So good. I love wearing this one, honestly. It's really, really nice. The next one that I hauled was Aqua del Mundo, and this is their take on Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Aqua Viat. I can never say it. Aqua Viate Forte. Probably said that one wrong as well, because I have a problem enunciating This is really, really nice. It's classified as a unisex fragrance. I do, in my opinion, feel like it leads just a little bit more masculine. But this is, regardless, it's a beautiful, clean, woody, aromatic, citrusy scent. You've got notes of Sicilian mandarin, bergamot, lemon. You've got cinnamon, pink pepper, orange blossom, ylang ylang. You've got sandalwood and vetiver in the base. And when you first spray it on, I find that that's where it starts to lean a little bit more masculine. In the first few seconds of it sprayed on, it reminds me of like old school cologne. Very aromatic, very woody with a heavy woody base. And a lot of citrus. But as it starts to settle down, the citrus becomes a little bit more prominent. It starts to become a little bit cleaner. And the woody elements are still there, but they're definitely in the background opposed to the forefront when you initially spray it. Definitely really nice. If you want something really clean and easy grab fragrance, something that's not going to offend people, definitely check out Aqua del Mundo. I really like this one a lot. Like I said, it leans a little bit, just a touch more masculine, but a girl could easily rock this if she wants to as well. Definitely check that one out if that's something that you're into. The next one was sort of a blind buy. I honestly got it because I was really fascinated with the picture. And this one is Atmospheric. And this is their take on Xerjoff's Dala. This one is so interesting, you guys. It's classified as a feminine fragrance, but I'm telling you now, easily unisex, and any man wearing this would smell so dang sexy. This is such an interesting, unique fragrance. It's so hard to describe. Honestly, like if you look at the picture and it's like a shooting star and like looking up through the trees and stuff at night, that's sort of what the scent actually reminds me of. It really does create this atmosphere that's like calm, relaxing, beautiful, yet outdoorsy, sort of earthy as well. You've got orange and orange flower, you've got galbanum, you've got bergamot, you've got pink pepper, jasmine, you have rose, amber, you have resin, vanilla, and musk. And it creates an actual like atmospheric like vibe. It's so weird. Like I smell this and it really does transport me to outside at night. The smell of like the outdoors. There are these slight florally components that come through as well. But I get mostly like this like musky, earthy, beautiful, unique fragrance. It's like nothing I have in my collection. Definitely a vibe. I've worn this like on cold, cloudy days, and it really creates this comforting aura like all around me. And like I said, it's classified as feminine, but my guys out there, don't be afraid of checking this one out. It's really, really nice. My girls out there too, if you want something that's a little bit bold, a little bit different, more on the earthy, sort of musky side, definitely check this one out. It's really, really beautiful. I really like it, and I think you guys will like it too if this is the kind of a vibe that you like in your fragrances. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about was one that I had wanted for a while, and this is called Gold Fluid. This is their take on Gentle Fluidity Gold by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. You have nutmeg, juniper berries, musk. You've got coriander, ambery woods, and vanilla. And you guys, this is so beautiful. Honestly, when I smelled this and I had sprayed it and worn it for the first time, it reminded me of something in my collection. And I was so frustrated because I couldn't figure out what it was that this was reminding me of. I was like, I have this, I know this, what is it in my collection that smells like this? It took me a minute and I sort of thought about it, went through my collection, started sniffing around, and then it hit me. Before I even got to the fragrance, it hit me what this reminded me of. And this has such a similarity to Montal's Intense Cafe, except that this doesn't have rose and coffee like Intense Cafe does. But it's funny because this sort of has a coffee-ish vibe, and it has that vibe because of the nutmeg mixing in so beautifully with the ambery woods and the vanilla. It almost gives the nutmeg a coffee-ish vibe. Except if you like Intense Cafe and wanted something a bit brighter, not as dense, not as heavy, this would be a perfect substitute because of the juniper berries in it as well. The juniper berries are like the substitute of the rose, and the substitute from the coffee in Intense Cafe would be the nutmeg with the ambery woods and that vanilla. This is so beautiful, and they smell really similar, which is the interesting part. Like, to me, I was kind of like, what the heck? Like, they have such a similar vibe. But this is a brighter, very, like, more refined version, in my opinion, of Intense Cafe. I still love Intense Cafe. Don't get me wrong, probably one of the best rose fragrances in my collection and one of the best coffee fragrances in my collection, and will probably always be in my collection. I love it that much. But this is in that same vein of fragrance style as Intense Cafe. And if you are a fan of Intense Cafe, do yourself a favor and get this one like ASAP. You need it in your life. So good, so beautiful, so refined, so sexy. Highly suggest checking this one out, you guys. The next one that I got was Paris 1920. This is their take on Byredo's Bal d'Afrique. I can never say that one right. Like, some of these names just get me sometimes, you guys. Like, I swear to God, these names are going to be the death of me. I need to learn French or something, because I can barely pronounce any of the French names. But anyway, this is so beautiful. You've got marigold, you've got bergamot, you've got neroli, jasmine, violet leaf, you've got cedarwood, musk, vetiver, and you have amber. I think a couple other notes in there as well, but this is gorgeous, and this is really close to the original too. I've sampled the original in the past, and it's really beautiful. What I get from this is a very musky, slightly powdery, almost creamsicle sort of vibe, but in a very playful, feminine, clean, beautiful, like angelic way. It's really, really nice. Like, it really does have this angelic quality to it that is very airy, light. It's bright. It reminds me of like beautiful days, clean, fresh laundry, and also a creamsicle at the same time. It's so clean, so bright, so beautiful. If that's something that you're interested in, definitely check this one out. So, so good. Honestly love it. 10 out of 10. The next one that I'm going to talk about, and I only have 2 more left, I'll quickly touch on it. I got a 100 ml bottle of Poseidon's Elixir Gen X. My guys out there, get your hands on this one if you can. This is so freaking good. Like, oh my God, you guys. Like I said, I'm already a fan of the Aventus DNA, and this is Dua's take on the Aventus 10-year anniversary batch that came out. This is so good, you guys. Like, it's true to the Aventus DNA, but honestly, in this one, I get a heavier dose of the birch, and it's a little bit brighter than other batches that I've sampled before. I really, really like it. The pineapple in this and the apple mix so beautifully, and they make it so bright and so like gorgeous. There's pink berries in this as well. It's just so, so good. It's definitely the Aventus DNA, just a slightly brighter, more woodsy version of it, in my opinion. And if you're already a fan of that, then do yourself a favor and get this one. So, so good. So, so sexy. I absolutely love it. 10 out of 10, honestly. Like, the Aventus DNA, I love the Aventus DNA, and I think that's something that's very well known. It's been overdone so many times, but I can't help it. Like, it's just so good. Like, I can't help what I like, honestly. And, like, you should never be ashamed of what you like. If you love something, love it hard. The last one that I got, and this one should be no surprise, I've talked about how I love this scent so much, is Herbs and Sea Salt. This is their take on Jo Malone's Wood Sage and Sea Salt, and I got a full bottle. I do have my smaller bottle that I'm working through right now, but I needed the large bottle. Like, I love this scent so much. It's so simplistic, yet so well done. It's literally amberette seeds, sea salt, and sage. That's it. And it creates the most gorgeous, clean, just beautiful scent. Like, this just smells so clean and so beautiful. It has an aromatic quality, and honestly, I love salty fragrances, and the salt in this one is so amped up in my skin, it's not even funny, and it just creates this beautiful, salty, clean vibe that reminds me of home. It reminds me of being on the beach, since I was a beach baby. I grew up in Santa Cruz, California, and like spent a lot of time on the beach. This reminds me of like clean, beachy vibes, and I honestly love it so much. And it also reminds me of my mom. My mom wears Jo Malone's Wood Sage and Sea Salt, so it's one of those, like, it reminds me of so many things, and I really wanted it in my collection, and I love the color scheme of this bottle. It's this green that turns into like a darker blue. It's a beautiful like gradient. So gorgeous. Highly recommend it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. That's all I got in my haul. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please give the video a like, and I will catch you guys later. And oh, if you ever want to connect with me, I have my Instagram handle down below. And yeah, till next time, you guys, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.